Well, we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Woo, 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 woo. I got a voice, and we are ready to do some cooking here in the kitchen. I want you to see my little apron today. Is that not cute? Oh, with the little gingerbread guy. I don't know if you can see it well. We'll see if I can kind of show him to you. And it just so happens I was out shopping and found a little gingerbread t-shirt. So he's kind of peeking over the top, but I wanted to wear both of them just so I can kind of show you what it was all about. But anyway, we're going to have a good time today in the kitchen. And like I said, I'm just so glad that you're here. It has been a minute since we have been able to get together, mainly because of me, because I had absolutely no voice, felt terrible, and I am so thankful to be back. Let me first say to all of you, and I say this very seriously, I am so grateful to have an amazing family that has really kept me lifted up. And I felt your prayers. I felt your good wishes. And it really did help me each day to keep going, because it's one thing to not feel well, but it's also another thing not to be home when you're feeling well. So I was a guest at my son's house and had the grandbaby. We were having a ball, and I think she shared her germs with me. And it happens. And those baby germs are hard to get rid of. Oh, let me tell you, they'll take you down. And so I am just so thankful to be here today and to be back in the kitchen doing the things that we love to do. So now today, I have a ton of things to do because I was out of my kitchen. And when you look over here in my baking area, bring you over and kind of get you situated so you can really see well what's going to go on today. I have to make a little adjustment here. And so please just bear with me for the moment, and I'll get you situated so you can see. But we're going to be working here in the baking area. And it's going to be busy. I have, when you're dealing with holidays, and certainly we just got over the hump of one major holiday, dealing with Thanksgiving. The next series of events for the month of December. December is always, I don't care how well you plan, December is always a busy month. You got the choir singing. You got the kids are doing whatever it is that they're going to be doing special at school for December, leading up to the winter holidays. And you got things at church that may be going on. And for us, we've got all of that going on. We've got band concerts. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So because of that, and we've also have some outings and some gatherings. And so I thought, this is a good day to be able to get some of that done. And you can certainly do this in advance. So I'm going to be sharing with you for probably the next week or so some of the things that you can prepare ahead of time, have it ready so that you can take it, and some of the shortcuts and tips that we can use. Plus, I'm going to put together my crock pot meal for today. I needed to be able to do that. Now, while we're working, I'll tell you what's going on. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is that we're going to get this crock pot started, because you know how that is. You got to get it going so that we can have it cooking while we're working. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over here, and that way I can kind of tilt you down and you can see what I'm doing. So here's a crock pot. I've got him ready. You'll see I've got a cover here. I have 4 cans of organic white beans that are here. And I'm going to place in there some ham hock broth, some ham broth. And you know, it was interesting. We were trying to find ham hocks for those collard greens. And I tell you what, right there before Thanksgiving, you couldn't find a hock. We went to every grocery store in the area trying to get those ham hocks and couldn't find them. Now, of course, if you're not a pork person, you can certainly do smoked turkeys, smoked turkey pieces. And so I'm going to let this drain for just a minute to get any impurities off. I usually boil mine first and then put them in. Now, while that is draining, you'll also see I've got house seasoning. I've got some chicken broth that I'm probably going to need to add. I'm using a red onion because I'm out of yellow onions. Used them all up. I took them with me. And yes, I do travel with food. And this is Nature's Promise. I don't know if you have those in your store, but they have the best brands of organic vegetables, canned vegetables, in case you liked occasionally to use a canned vegetable. And you know, if you're trying to prepare something and you don't want to have to let it soak and sit and do all those good things for hours, because a lot of us just don't have time to be able to do that. And this month especially, you may not have time to do all of that, because I don't know about you, but I want to be able to go out and do light tours and do all those fun things. So because of that, I'm going to be taking a few shortcuts. So today's one of those. Okay. So we've got most of this drained, and I'm just going to take the rest of this and put it right over there in the sink. Now, we got our beans in there. I'm going to add our onions in. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving. This is one small red onion. I went with a small one because, you know, sometimes red onions can be pretty strong. So I'm going with one. But I thought the redness of it, too, it would be kind of nice to have a little bit of extra color. So I'm going to start off with a heaping teaspoon of my house seasoning and let that go. I think I'm probably going to end up adding some more garlic and those kind of things to this. Now, if you wanted to make it a vegetable bean soup, you could certainly do this. Now, I'm going to let this get started on high. And I'm going to get it to going on high so that I'll kind of know where it is. And always, 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 always put a pinch of baking soda in your beans, even if they're canned beans. So I'm literally going in. I'm going to add a pinch. You're going to see eventually there's going to be a little foaming reaction that will take place. But that helps to get all of the gases that are in your beans, and it will cook out. And you want all of that. Now, it's not hot enough at this point to really give you a real big reaction, but it will do that. And, you know, when I'm cooking beans, I always add in a good squish of ketchup. And what that ketchup does, it adds just a dash of vinegar, but also adds a dash of brown sugar in there and gives your beans a pretty color when you're preparing them. Now, what I'm going to do, because this really is going to be soup, I'm going to add in my chicken broth. I'm going to bring that up. I only have a little bit left, so I'm just going to use that whole thing. And I'm going to give all of that a stir again. It's been sitting a while, waiting for us to start cooking. And like I said, I'm just letting you, this is what I'm doing in the kitchen today. And my focus today really is on brownies. You saw it, brownies and brittle. And we love peanut brittle in our family. Okay, so the white bean soup is going. Now, when I'm preparing the Here we go. When I'm preparing brittle, I always use raw peanuts. Now, you don't have to use raw peanuts. You can certainly use regular peanuts, but the raw peanuts just have that extra special taste and a good texture. And, it used to be that we would have we would prepare the brittle on the stove, and you'd have to cook and cook and cook and cook and cook and until you got that temperature just right. Use your candy thermometer. And I understand, the purist, but when we are thinking about the fact that we're saving time, then we may want to take a few shortcuts and use some of the tools that we have. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, you can see I'm starting today, not with the brittle, because the brittle is going to move along fast. I found the cutest little silicone baking sheets. See those little trees? Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. I got them at Tuesday morning for I think it was $6 each. I bought two. And I thought, well, how cute would they be? Little brownie trees. And then I'm going to add little dots of decoration on them. So that's what we're doing. We're going to be working on these trees. Now, I haven't used these before, so we'll do one first, see how it goes. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to put it in a pan, cut it into squares, and do what we always do. Okay? So, but we're going to try. We're going to try something new today and see if we can get it to work. All right. So I like egg-like brownies. Or not egg-like, but cake-like brownies. And so what I'm going to do, I'm kind of moving things out of the way because I literally put everything over here so that I have things pretty quick. So I'm moving the peanut brittle stuff. And too, with brittle, it doesn't have to be peanuts. You can certainly use whatever kind of nuts you like. And but we are going to do ours in the microwave. Okay, so I've got my mixer here, and I need my directions to make sure I do it right. I'm going to need, let's see, I need 2 eggs. Let me get the eggs. And we're going to crack those and put those in. I've got my little Christmas measuring cups. They're kind of cute. And in the little red and white, this is the time of the year to get to pull all those fun things out. So I'm going to crack my eggs in here, and we're going to get those lightly beaten by hand first. So I'm using a mix because, once you add all the goodies in, no one knows whether you did it from scratch or whether you used your mix. The mixes really have gotten better. And the better the mix, the better your product is. So we're putting in those 2 eggs because we want the cake-like brownies. Okay, now let's set this off to the side because I do have another mixture. We're also going to need a couple of tablespoons of water. And that was the one thing I didn't bring out, the tablespoons. I do have the water. We need 2. That's 1, 2. And then we need about a 1/3 cup of oil. So I'm going to get my 1/3 cup and have this gigantic container of oil. So we'll see if we can pour this and not make a total mess, because sometimes, when you're handling extremely large items, they can't get away from it. I'm going to sit that down and kind of protect ourselves here. So let me bring you down a bit. There we go, so you can see better. All right, you can see how big this container is. So I'm going to see if I can pour it without making a total mess. There we go. Oh, that's working, but I better focus. All right, so I've got my 1/3 cup of oil. Whoop, he's in. And like I said, I'm going to sit him off to the side just in case we decide to do, if it works well with the trees, then we will probably do it again. Now, I'm going to start this by hand. Certainly, if you don't have a hand mixer or you don't have a stand mixer, you can do the whole thing by hand. You don't have to use a mixer at all, but I had it and I'm going to use it. So it may be just a little noisy for just a second, but it's not going to take long because you do not want to overmix your brownies. Oops. Well, the good news is that if you're going to use your hand mixer, you need to plug it in. So let's get that done. All right, real kitchen, real issues. You know how that goes. All right, so here we go. I've got it on low, and I'm keeping it on low purposely because I don't want brownie mix all over everything. You do not want a cloud of brownie mix. Now, I'm not even sure how many of the trees I'm going to be able to get out of this mix. So we're really doing this together to try to figure it out. All right, but these little silicone sheets, they're little baking sheets, are so cute. They are really very, very cute. And they make up, I've had hearts. You know, you can use those silicone sheets to make cute ice cubes for whatever it is that you're preparing for. And let me get a spatula, because we're definitely going to need that. I'm going to bring one over. We've got him here. I'm going to try to bring you in so you can see exactly what we're doing. Now, like I said, I have no idea of how much it's going to take in each of these little trees. So I'm going to do a scoop and use my fork. And I'm thinking we probably need to treat this like we would if we were filling a cupcake tin. So about 3/4 of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. 3/4. Give it a little tap so that it will go into all of the different directions. Okay. And get over to the next one. We'll have to clean it off because it drips. I can see that. That's one of those things we have to work on. You know, we have functions at church. Tomorrow, we are tree trimming at church. Oh, you know, I love that. And we have 3 huge trees that we need to get done. They range anywhere from 12 foot down to 9 foot. So we're going to work on those. I've got the bows for the reeds, for the windows, and all of that needs to get done. So tomorrow after church is it. I'm hoping we can finish everything and won't have to come back during the week. But, you know, we might have to. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm just hoping that we'll have lots of good volunteers who want to work and will help us through this job. So there we go. I've got quite a bit. I think one box will probably do, let's see, these are 8. And I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. If I think I'm going to make a mess, you'll be here to witness it. We're going to try to do it this way. Now that we've gotten a little bit of it out. Okay. And then just cut it off. Oh, yeah. I think that's going to work. All right. So we're going to put it in. Try to stop it before we get too much. And I'm going to put that in. So it looks like one box we'll do the 8 trees. And there's just a tiny bit left over. Now let me get a wet paper towel and I'm going to wipe off the top surface of this. Okay. Now, so we're going to clean this up. You had to spray the silicone very well with like Pam or some type of baking spray. And so I'm just taking my paper towel and just kind of cleaning it up so that there we go. It will look very nice. Let me see if I can bring it up to you. I'm going to have to put it on this tray. So I have a tray here, and I'm going to slip this on. See if I can get it under there. Get the trees in. There we go. Quick, 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 quick. There we go. We got him right there on the tray. So I'm going to treat these like little cupcakes. So let's say maybe 15 to 20 minutes in a 350 oven. That's where we're going to start. And if it seems like we'll need a little extra, I got my toothpicks here, so I can certainly check them. So oven's ready. I'm going to put that in, set the clock, and start. There we go. So we've got that started. Woohoo! So that's one thing down. And got the first pan of brownies. So I'm going to take this over, sit it over there. We're going to do a quick brownie cleanup. See how we're doing here. Won't they look pretty for to be able to take to someone's house, or even to have at your house? If you have the fellas coming over for a football game and you just want to add a little extra touch of something cute, then certainly during the holidays or whenever, they have other shapes other than just other than the trees. They had snowmen. Like I said, I have hearts. I have all those things. So that gives you an option of things that you can do. Now, so we have a glass container that can handle heat. And what we're going to do with this is that we're going to put together the start of our microwave peanut brittle. Now, I'm keeping my eye here on my directions because I'll get to talking, I will leave something out, and then the brittle won't come out like it's supposed to. All right, so I have my microwave. We're going to combine the sugar and the corn syrup in our container. So we need a cup of sugar and we need a half cup of corn syrup. So here's our sugar. I need, as I said, I'm going to use the little one. Here's our half cup. I need a cup of sugar, cup of white sugar, whatever brand you choose to use. Mine has gotten just a little bit lumpy, but that's okay. I'm just going to spread them out. There's my half cup. My half cup. And we needed a half cup of the light corn syrup. Now I'm going to use the other measure for the light corn syrup just because it's liquid. And leave that sugar container because we're going to do at least 2 batches. So we're going to start here. Let me wipe that out. It got a little dusty. I think it's the sugar off my fingers that's falling out. Okay, so here's our half cup of corn syrup. All right, a half cup. And let's see, I don't know if I put a I did. Okay, good. I've got a spatula. Get all the corn syrup out. But I'm also going to need a wooden spoon, so I know I'm going to have to go back in this drawer. So there's the corn syrup spot, the sugar spot. Here's the spatula. Now, the reason I'm not going to use the spatula any farther than this is because I already know this is going to be very hot, very sticky. You know how it is with hot, sticky sugar. And so I'm going to use a spurtle. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick and get the sugar off because it's a mess. Okay. So we're going to put it in for about 4 minutes. But the first thing I'm going to do is just give it a good stir. Give all of this a good stir in our container. My husband loves peanut brittle, and I refuse to fix it any other time other than December, the month of December. And so the fun thing is that he's actually not here in the house, so he has no idea that this is what's going to go on today. So, which is kind of funny, even though he lives here, but it's going to be a surprise for the big guy. All right, so I've got most of that sugar and corn syrup all stirred up. Let's get all that off. Like I said, we're going to heat this for 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay, let's get it in. And this is 4 minutes on high. And if your microwave, it just depends on the strength of your microwave, how strong it is. You may need to add an extra minute to make sure it's good and mixed and all ready to go. Now, I am looking for, there it is, looking for our vanilla because we're going to need vanilla. Give it a good shake before I actually need it. There we go. I'm going to move this over there. And I'm going to need some butter. I'm going to need a teaspoon of butter. Now, let's measure out our peanuts. Now, it says to use about a cup of peanuts. And I have a 1 cup measure. But to be honest with you, I'm usually a little generous with that 1 cup. Let's see what it, oh, here we go. A little generous with that 1 cup. And thank you, all of you. I see your well wishes. It was such a blessing to know that there were people who were praying and thinking about me, because you all could probably hear in some of the videos that I was able to get out that the voice was terrible. And it's a little better. It's still not totally back to normal, but goodness knows it's better than no voice at all. All right, so we've got all of this is going to get nice and hot and melty. We're going to let that go. And like I said, I got my instructions here. We're going to stop it at about 2 minutes. We're going to give it a good stir, and then we're going to stir in the peanuts. And we're going to, after those 4 minutes, we're going to microwave it for about 3.5 minutes more. You know, this comes together so good. And the nice thing about it is that it's a great gift. We have even prepared enough peanut brittle to send in boxes and tins away to relatives and friends. So, great idea. And it's an opportunity for you to be able to do a little something sweet for those you're thinking about. And it could be just a neighbor or someone who you want to do something nice for, and give them something, just a taste of something nice that you had and prepared in your kitchen. Now, while we're waiting, we're at our 2 minutes. Let me take this out. And you don't want to burn yourself, so keep that in mind. This is very, very hot sugar. So I'm going to use our spurtle, and we're going to give it a good stir. It's quite liquidy at this point. Okay, so That's doing well. So I'll put it back in, let it finish up. And we'll add in our peanuts. And like I said, you know, I'm going to be a little generous. So I'm starting with a heaping cup of raw peanuts. Doesn't have to be raw, but that's what I like to use, the raw peanuts. Hello, Christina. Ah, you'll have to try the raw nuts every now and then. They really are very good, and the texture is good. And typically, when you get them from like one of the really nice candy stores, they typically use raw peanuts, and you can find them now very reasonable. Most stores have the raw peanuts during the Thanksgiving, Christmas to New Year's season. So this is a great time to get them, and there you can freeze them. So that's a good thing too. Now we have about 25 more seconds. I'm going to check on our brownies. The brownies have got quite a while to go. Let me get a nice, I need a tablespoon. Tablespoon? I need a teaspoon of butter. So I'm going to cut that. And because we're going to need to add that. Okay. Woo-hoo. This is after our first 4 minutes. See that hot, bubbly liquid? Well, it's in there, and this baby is hot. So I'm going to add in our heaping cup of nuts and give them a really good stir. And if it looks like you need just a little more of the nuts, you can certainly add that. And I think I'm going to add just about a handful more, just to make sure we have lots of good nuts in there. I want them in there. And then we're going to let this cook for about another 3.5 minutes. I love this recipe. I love this recipe. It is so easy, and it's going to come out the way we want it. So let's put it in 3.5 minutes. So let's see, 3, 3, 0, go. All right, so we've got our 3.5 minutes all set up. Now, let me tell you, the fun thing of today is that we really are doing all kinds of stuff. We've got the soup over there that's going for tonight. Hello, hello. We have that, we're making white bean soup. And later on today, I'll put together some cornbread. And how many of you saw the Parker House rolls? And I did do that. I got those done. Let me tell you what I did. I did them different this year. I used the same recipe. And because, you know, I told you I had days, good days and bad days. So on the good day, I put together the Parker House dough, the actual dough for those rolls. Put them into a freezer Ziploc bag. Left just enough opening so that the excessive amount of air come out. Put them into, let them rise once, put them into the refrigerator after that first rise, and like I said, have just a little bit of an opening so it won't explode in your refrigerator. But let it stay. I let it stay overnight in the refrigerator. And when I took it out for Thanksgiving morning to actually roll them, you notice I did them two ways. I did the little pocket books, and some of them stayed closed like they were supposed to. Some of them, as they were rising, opened up just a little bit, but that's okay. And I also did some that we actually rolled in a ball. And I think actually I kind of like those even better. Number one, your roll is not so large. The nice thing about the little pocket books is that later on, when people were going back for those turkey sandwiches, those pocket books were perfect because they could slice them open, put the turkey in there and anything else they wanted. And it was so good. those rolls were to die for. They were so good. But because the dough was so cold, it rolled out easy. Everything went together easy, but it was still ice cold. So you need at least 2 hours or more for them to rise, to do that second rise, because it's starting, excuse me, it's starting from a cold dough. But it was so easy to handle, didn't stick, didn't do any of that. And it came together perfectly. And I was just very pleased with that. So needless to say, for Christmas, I already know I'm going to put together about 3 batches, put them all together, put them in the refrigerator. And then that way, Christmas morning, I can get up, roll them out, and just sit the pan somewhere so it can get nice and warm and let those rolls come up. So those rolls came out delicious. I was so pleased. Our brownies are moving right along. That's a good thing. Okay, guys, we're at that 3.5-minute point. I better get a glove this time. It's just a tad bit warm. And what we don't want, let me do it another way. I'm going to use a towel. Okay, here we go. No accidents, no accidents. Okay, I'm going to tilt you down so you can see this bubbling mixture. Okay, and bring you in a little closer. See if we can get over there in that container. There you go. So you can see this right here. Now at this point, we're going to stir in the teaspoon of butter that I cut. I'm going to put that teaspoon in. You're going to see all kinds of reactions, and there's going to be a lot of melting, all kinds of good things. We're going to put that butter in, and it's nice and hot. It's going to do a little bubbling, and that's okay. We're going to let that bubble. We also want to add in, I'm going to put in a cap full, which is going to be about a teaspoon. This is a new bottle of vanilla, so get that open. Okay. All right, there we go. Everything is very protective, so that's okay. All right, we need a teaspoon, right? Teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm kind of a vanilla girl as well. So there's our teaspoon. I'm going to give all of this a good stir. Now, wipe that down. Okay. All that sugar in there so it can continue to melt. It's not ready yet. Not yet. And then we're going to cook this for about another 1.5 minutes. So that's going to be 130. Oop. Okay, for 1.5 minutes. Now, when this stops, we're going to put the tops on things so I won't make a mess. But when this stops, we're going to add in our baking soda. And that's when you're going to see the reaction of that baking soda with our mixture. We only need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I'm going to wipe off our teaspoon. I'm going to go ahead and get it ready because that 1.5 minutes is going to go by quickly. I also have a pan here that I am going to spray. Put a little pan on it. Because we're going to pour it out on this pan. So there we go. We've got about 22 seconds, and we're going to put this together. It's going to come together so fast. You're going to say, oh my goodness, that was so easy. So there we go. We have 11. Let me check on our brownies. Don't want to forget them. Okay, they're in there. They're looking good. Hope they taste as good as they look. I'm sure they will. Got our sugar. Okay. Now, all right. Got our container. Can you see? I'm going to put the baking soda in. I'm going to give it a quick stir. It's going to foam up. You're going to see that foaming action. It's going to get really white and foamy. Use my spatula. Kind of get everything off of there. Because this is a really, really, really hot mixture. All right. Now is the time that we're going to let it foam, and then we're going to pour it onto our tray. Ooh, it sets up very quickly. All right. There it is. I don't know how many of you used to make taffy. Remember taffy? I like giving it just a little bit of a shake to let it spread out a little bit. It helps to cool it. And there we are. We've got our pan full of peanut brittle. Now this is going to need to cool. And sometimes it cools pretty quickly. But once it cools, we can break it. So I'm going to sit it off to the side, not here on the stove where it's warm, but we're going to sit it off to the side and let it cool. And hopefully before we leave today, we'll be able to actually break the brittle. All right, let me sit it off. There we go. And let's take a look at our brownies. I need to get a toothpick. I like using the Dollar Tree skewers. They work well. So I've got some of those. So I'm going to open up, see how we're doing with our trees. There they are coming out. Let me test them and see if it's pretty clean. Well, that one's looking pretty good. Oop, that one's still pretty wet. Okay, they're not quite ready. All right, they need a little more time, just a little, not much. All right, so let's give it about 5 more minutes. I think that's what we'll do. 5 more minutes. Timer 5. Oh. All right, so while we're waiting for those 5 minutes to go by, let's come over here to our soup. We got that soup started this morning. For those of you who are just now coming in, we worked on that soup. Now, I already know today I'm going to do a couple more batches of our peanut brittle. But I wanted you to see what was going to happen, what we were going to do, and how that was going to work. And as you can see down in here, there's probably enough for maybe 2 more trees out of 1 box. So figure about 10 trees per box of brownie mix. So this has been, like I said, cake-like brownies. And it may depend too on how thick you want your trees. Okay, so I kept mine a little thick because I didn't want them to dry out. I don't like dry brownies, and I'm sure you don't either. So we're going to pull out this crock pot, and it has started to really get hot. And what I'm going to do, well, first of all, I'm going to come over here, and I noticed that we have some nice hard candy off of our container. That's pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is to add our ham in. Get my fork. Wanted to give and I'm purposely, like I said, I'm purposely using canned beans because that's going to save us some time. You can certainly use smoked turkey. You could really, you want something kind of smoky when you're having a good pot of beans. And this has enough meat on it. If your hocks don't have a lot of meat, you can certainly add a little extra ham if you have some left over from Thanksgiving. I know a lot of you made ham as well. Some of you did ham instead of turkey. This depends on your family. And so that gives you a chance. That really is good. Good candy. So I'm putting the top back on it. It is on high. I'm going to let this stay on high for probably the next 4 hours. And after 4 hours, then I'll check on those seasonings. That's when I'll do the squish of ketchup in, and also a little bit of red pepper flakes. Now, do you have to do the red pepper flakes? Of course not. But if you like it and like that little hit, then you can certainly do this. So I'm just going to put this back kind of out of the way, and we should be ready to get those brownies out. So let's see. Oh, yeah, they smell good. They're nice and hot. So let me turn you. All right, got our little guys here. If I move all these towels out of the way, I was trying to make sure I had all of my towels where they would be handy. And there we go. So we got the towels there. Now, these are going to need to cool. And I'm going to, for the moment, turn that off. I'm going to take the other end. And yes, they are ready. Oh, yeah. And the last one had probably just a little more brownie mix than the rest of them. That's okay. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I have a dish, and the oven's pretty high on toasty at this point. But I'm going to let these sit for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to flip them out onto this dish because, let's see if I can show you the other side of the cakes, of the brownie cakes. Their decoration is there. So you can see they give you some decorating ideas of things that you can do with your brownies when you decorate. So there's my cancel. All right, let's see if I can get one out without making a mess. See if it'll pop out. A little more. Okay, there's 1, 2. Oh, they're coming out. 3. All right. 4. Popping out. I can't ice them until they are nice and cool. So what it suggests, the box suggests, that you put them into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes before you attempt to do any icing whatsoever. So all of these little trees, and they're the perfect size that you would have for just a regular brownie. Oh, they're cute. Cute, cute, cute. All right. Oh. Okay. So there's our little trees, our little brownie trees. Aren't they precious? Oh, they're going to be cute. Now, I need to set these over where they can cool. Oh, this has been fun. I'm going to bring them over to the counter so we can set them over there. We've got our candy that's cooling off. I've got another batch of not quite cool enough to break, but you know, I'm going to always bring you along. Now, for the month of December, starting Monday, we're going to take a look, of course, at December. Oh my goodness, we have a lot going on. And I've been taking notes, I'm trying to pour out everything I can think of that you might need and might want. I'm also going to step out of the box and do something a little different. I'm not going to tell you what it is until Monday. You'll see Monday. And going to introduce something to you that I have not done and have not used, that I've been playing around with, and I'm going to show you that on Monday. We're continuing with our December 1 month, 1 master plan. Now, the good thing about that master plan is that you can pick and choose whatever works. And I did a little tweaking to that even. So when you get your newsletters, you're going to see that there is a different look to the 1 month, 1 plan. I think I did this for November. I'm pretty sure I did. But I sent you your grocery list. I also sent, I think I gave you the master plan for November. So this time you're going to have your grocery list. You're going to have your master plan for the month, as well as there's going to be one more thing that's going to be coming along with that, in addition to a recipe or two, that is also part of the plan. Because, you know, a lot of times some of the things that are on the plan, there's just not enough days to be able to film every day and to get things to show you everything. But there are going to be some things that I'm going to start adding to the newsletter so that you can try it out. Because, you know, everybody likes something a little different and something new. And, you know, I have to say, I was so proud of all of you, because you tried things that you have not done before. And, you know, it was just something new, a different plan, a different idea. Just that one thing. You can give yourself that pat on the back and say, woo, I did it. And, you know, always have one thing each day that you can look at and look back on when the night falls and say, you know, I got that done. I tried it and it worked. And, you know, I know my family's good about giving you feedback. Sometimes feedback you want to hear, and sometimes you're about ready to take them out. And so, seriously, it's always fun to have the feedback from your family. You'll know what they like, what they don't like, what they want you to add to the list. And that was one of the things that I have to say that I think what I did this time is that I cut off at 25 meals. And I did that because it will give you the option to be able to add your family favorites to the master list for the month. And you know, this month, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, whether you're celebrating Kwanzaa, whether you're celebrating Christmas, the season of Advent, you will probably have certain dishes that you want to add onto your plan for the month. I also I'm giving you a chance to be able to take a look at each week. So that will be available too on the newsletter. And so I just wanted to be able to give you some additional things along the way that I thought, you know, these are the things that are helpful for me. And I figured they're helpful for me, they might be helpful for you. And if you see something that you think you might like to see in a newsletter, I have some who have given me suggestions of things that they'd like to see in the next edition of the newsletter, and I've already added those to the one that's going to be coming out this week. So I will do that. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to share, and that's what we're doing. We're sharing our knowledge from one kitchen to another. And, you know, none of us are sages. We don't have degrees in menu planning, but we certainly have time and practice. And, you know, our doctors do that. They practice all the time. They're practicing, you know, they have a practice. And so we are practicing in our kitchen. So we're going to certainly have a chance to do that. And I am so glad that you're enjoying the 1 month, 1 plan. I had almost considered stopping it because I thought, well, maybe it's a little too much. But then I have enough feedback that I know it is valuable to you. And, you know, the good thing is that for those of you who have family members that you know, you have young family members who are struggling, trying to figure out what am I going to cook? You know, what am I planning? What am I trying to do? For those family members, this is an opportunity for you to say, you know, I just got a newsletter, and this is what was in it. Can you use that? And if so, share it with them, because I love doing those kinds of things all the time. And in fact, it was funny, you'll laugh. My husband says, you know, anybody who says something about cooking or eating, you know, Duncan, I thought you were already on that list. But send me your email again anyway, because I was sure you were already on it. But just in case, you know, I will certainly get you on there immediately. But I think I have you on there, I thought. But we'll see. We'll see. And shoot that to me as you're talking. It's the Mrs. Dooley at gmail.com. Just send me a note and I will certainly put you on there as soon as we finish up today. So like I said, Monday, you know, when you are at home and you are wherever you are and you have nothing to do other than lay in the bed and sip on ginger ale, then the mind is going. You would not believe how many notes. I got little post-it notes all over the place of things that I thought of that I think might be helpful. And so I hope all of your dinners were amazing. I know they were. I know your families were smiling. And I hope your buffets, for those of you who are doing buffets, I hope some of those buffet tips certainly helped. And keep in mind that buffet tips work whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, birthdays, whatever it is. A buffet is a buffet. So certainly take advantage of that. And if, like I said, if you have questions, let me know. I will answer those. And again, to each of you, if anyone is on who is not a part of the family, you have not joined the family, please take the time to subscribe, because this family shares everything. We share so much about our kitchens, and it is always a lot of fun. We're family, and that's what we do. So, guys, we are at the hour. Let me check on our Candy and see if he's ready to break. I was hoping we'd be able to break it before we left, but you know what? It's still pretty warm. I think I'm gonna have to put it on a rack, or either even stick it in the refrigerator and let it. But I'll probably do a short and show you the breaking of the brittle, as well as the decorating of our little trees that have turned out so cute. And just for your information, these are done with Duncan Hines. I like Duncan Hines, I always have. And don't overcook them, because they will come out nice and moist. So guys, God bless each of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time this week and this weekend. Get some rest for those of you who did the cooking. And I know, Ronnie, you had your granddaughter, I had mine, and Lord have mercy, woo, we were wore out, because they were keeping us on our toes. And certainly I am thankful to have that time and thankful to be able to do that. So I'm hoping to bring a few more of the grands into the kitchen this month, because they like to do a lot of cooking and a lot of baking as well. So I'm going to get them in and see what things we can cook up, because there's some good recipes that I know I haven't done for you. So stay tuned, because it's coming. And I hope to see you Monday, ready to go. Bring your pencil and paper, because we got a lot to talk about. Mwah, to all of you, and have a wonderful Saturday.